Hi there, and thank you for joining us today for this webinar entitled "Switch to Sales, Switch from Salesforce to iCRM." My name's John, and I'll be your host today. Uh, just some housekeeping before we get started. Uh, Obviously, please subscribe. We give these webinars quite a bit, and if you find them informative, please do subscribe. Also, if you do have any questions, the comments area in YouTube is where you should put your questions, or if you have any issues or problems, and we'll try to answer your questions in real time when appropriate. And then if uh, if if it's something that I will address later in the presentation, I'll just kind of wait for that. And but we will get to your questions if they're at all reasonable, and I'm sure they will be. So the way it'll work today is I'll give a very brief slide deck, and then we'll get into how to use how to use and switch from Salesforce to iCRM, and also how to use CRM from your inbox. So it'll be focused on that. Anyway, so without further ado, I'll start the slide deck, and we'll get rolling. Again, do not hesitate to put questions in the comments area of YouTube. We're very happy to address them. So again, we're covering how to switch from Salesforce to iCRM, and how to use CRM, whether that be Salesforce, iCRM, or other products from your inbox. A little bit about us first. We've actually been around since the 1990s, which is an eons for a software company. Won all sorts of awards. We have a pretty large customer base. We have some OEM partners that sell on our behalf. Offices here in the New York metro area in the United States, as well as Europe and Asia. And really what we're all about is CRM and email, and the merging of the two. In fact, in 1995, when we founded the company, we had the concept of the fact that CRM and email should be together and should be one. And here we are many years later, and we're still improving upon that. And we're certainly dedicated to quality solutions. Here's a bunch of our awards over the years, and some of our customers. I know these are mostly the larger customers. We really run the gambit in terms of our customers. There are larger ones and smaller ones, and so on. So some of the larger ones, however, are on the screen. So let's just talk about our current the email integrations, and kind of what we're doing these days with all the different CRMs, and integrating that to email, basically bringing the CRM into your inbox. So we have our own product, which is called iCRM, or iEnterprise CRM. And our email integrations are included with that, and you can just get iCRM, and you don't have to pay extra for the email integration if you have any paid subscription to iCRM. And there really is only one paid subscription to iCRM. We don't mess around. We kind of have a single price, and we include everything. More on that later. And then we make an integration for Salesforce.com, which is very popular with hundreds of thousands of people on it. There's one for Microsoft Dynamics as well, and the Dynamics Gmail integration we provide is super popular as well. Oracle, Sugar, and then we have two new ones. One is Zoho, which we offer Gmail and Outlook for Zoho right now. And then just by the way, Zoho, for whatever reason, their email integration doesn't actually let you save an email in Zoho. So I don't really understand that, but ours does, of course. And then NetSuite, Outlook is actually released. and we're working on Gmail. So those are all the different integrations. Um, and then, we'll talk a little bit about iCRM here and as well as our email integration. So this is, iCRM is a full-featured, flexible CRM. It's built into Gmail and Outlook. Literally, you can use the entire CRM from Gmail and Outlook. And of course, with our connectors, we provide that for Salesforce Dynamics and the others as well. But you don't have to pay extra with iCRM. Everything works on mobile. Actually, the email integration also works on mobile, which is, really, to some degree, it's the holy grail of what we've been trying to do for many, many years. Anyway, it works in any browser, so we don't limit you to a single browser. There's nothing to install locally. It's all cloud-based. And then when we set up iCRM with any paid subscription, by the way, we'll import your data and we'll configure it at no additional cost. So if you're coming from Salesforce or some other CRM, we literally will get this thing set up for you. And there's only one price for iCRM. We don't have different paid versions. There's one paid version. It includes everything we offer. We don't say, hey, like you're on the, the low version. You really need to switch to our high version, which actually costs, 10 times more. So Salesforce, I know, is kind of like that, and it literally can be 10 times more. So ours is just one price, one fair price. We don't play games. So moving on. So the idea of iCRM and our connectors for Salesforce and Dynamics and the others is to do everything from your email. So basically, we bring CRM into your email. And by the way, it's super important because a recent study showed that people spend 30 to 40 hours of their working week inside their email. It's crazy. So if you don't have your CRM inside your email, then it will not get used and it will fail. That's my prediction. I know that's a little bold, but I've been doing this for a long time, and I really don't believe any type of sales or CRM solution can survive without deep email integration. And that's what we do. So we add it to Gmail and Outlook. You can pretty much use the entire CRM. When you get emails from people, it brings up like a 360-degree view of what's going on with the person and the company that person works for. And of course, it lets you save emails to your CRM, whether that be our own iCRM or Salesforce or whatever you're using. And you can link it to anything such as, contacts, accounts, leads, opportunities, even custom objects. So we support unlimited custom objects in the email integration, as well as custom fields. And when the person's not in there, you can add them. And it actually takes information from LinkedIn when you add a new contact from one of our connectors. We provide email templates as well that you can use. And then there's a background sync component as well. So you can either just do a single click, which I'll show, to save an email in your CRM, or you can have it auto sync in the background. And there's rules around that. Like, for example, you can set up the auto sync to sync only certain threads or only certain messages. So a good example would be, I add an email to my CRM from our connectors, and then it allows me to mark that thread, and that means that all the replies to that message will be synced from that point forward automatically without you doing anything. Okay, so it's the same deal from the calendar. In your inbox where you send and receive messages, you want your CRM there, but you also want it in your calendar, and we bring everything in there as well in both Google and Outlook. And it works pretty much the same way. When you're in your calendar, you can see a 360-degree view of what's going on. You can save calendar items, and so on. And then there's a background sync for the calendar as well, which is pretty popular. If you do have automations, or you want automations that automatically create calendar items in your CRM, you're gonna want them on your Google or Outlook calendar, that's for sure. And there's a background sync for that. So I highly recommend that sync. That way you can continue to live in your Google or Outlook calendar and do everything as far as scheduling from there. Because the CRM calendars, as we know, they really just don't work well because you can't do things like see the free time that people have and so on. So anyway, also everything works on mobile. So I'll actually try to demo that in a little bit, and we'll show you how you can use Gmail. I'll demo that on your mobile, but it works in Outlook too, and then get all your CRM information as you're using your mobile email app. Anyway, keep on going. So it's super easy to install. You can just install it from the Google Marketplace, and maybe I'll show you that at the beginning for Gmail. And Outlook's kind of the same way. You do get add-ins and install it that way. Both Gmail and Outlook can be deployed in mass, either from the Exchange server or from from the Gmail admin, if you will. And in the case of Outlook, you can deploy it from either Microsoft Exchange or the individual can actually download it and install it and do a trial. And by the way, before we started, I actually put the trial, our website there. And if you just visit the website, you pick what CRM you want to use, like iCRM or Salesforce or whatever, and then you say what email you have, and it will guide you through installing a trial for any one of our connectors. And then don't forget the comments go in that same section. I just put a little comment myself out there. If you do have questions or comments, throw them in there. So can be deployed in mass. So we use native technology, which means that we use a Gmail add-on and an Outlook add-in. And that means there's no footprint on the local machine, unlike things like Chrome extensions that a lot of our competitors use in Gmail. There's nothing that has to be installed locally. Chrome extensions are super unreliable. They conflict with each other. They're not really secure. They literally can see everything you're doing, including your browser history if they want to. So anyway, ours is in the case of Gmail, it's a Gmail add-on, and Gmail add-ons live in the Google Cloud inside of Gmail. They only have access to what you decide to save in your CRM, and then it saves it directly from Google to the CRM. Same for Outlook. It's called an Outlook add-in, and that's native technology that works in any Outlook, any modern Outlook client, I should say, as well as Outlook on the web. And again, it doesn't have access to everything, just the things that you let it see, and then it sends information directly from your email to the CRM. There's no stopping in between, so it's super secure. So a little bit more about iCRM. It's kind of got everything: accounts, contacts, opportunities, leads. Got like a document library, call reports. It's got workflow automation, custom modules. It's even got subscription or recurring revenue tracking. And cases and tickets and things like that. So it's super robust, and I'll show it to you in a second. So again, why would you want to switch to iCRM? Well, it's full featured, it's built into email, works on mobile, works in any browser. We will get you set up for one price. We import your data, we configure it for you. You don't have to hire an army of consultants to do it, unlike other solutions. Everything's included, and the price, which is on this screen, is $29.95 on an annual contract per month per user, or $34.95 if you decide to pay monthly. And if you do decide to pay monthly, you can cancel at any time, and we still import your data and set it up for you on any paid contract. So let's get into the live demo. Let me get my screen set. Just give me 1 second here. And what I will do is I will start out with Gmail, and I'll start out with Gmail, and I will move over to Outlook. So this is my Gmail inbox, as you can see, and I'll show Outlook in just a second as well. But you can see on the right-hand side is where our connectors show. So this is showing iCRM. If you want to do a trial, you can either go to our website, as I mentioned, or you can just, if you're a Gmail user, you just do get add-ins. And then I'm going to put in our company name, actually, but you could put in Salesforce. And you can see here's all our connectors. So the Salesforce connector with 170,000 plus installs is here. And then here's iCRM with we're coming up to 100,000 installs on that as well. They're highly rated and highly used. If you want to try iCRM, you can just click on this here and install this little thing in the sidebar. It'll actually set it all up for you. And then I'll jump into Outlook real quick. So in Outlook, in order to install the connectors, you can see they show as icons up at the top, and you can also pin it to the side, but you do get add-ins here. It's sometimes the get add-ins will show on the top bar. Sometimes you have to click on these 3 dots, and then you can search for and install, iCRM in there, almost exactly the same as you saw with Gmail. So going back to Gmail real quick, let's start using it. So, in its simplest form, you get an email from someone, and they're in your CRM, and you need some information about them. When you're just sitting in the inbox, if you have any tasks and things that you have due today in your CRM, it'll show them here. But then the real magic happens when you open a message. So I open a message, and then you can see here in the right side, it shows. It says that, oh, this person who sent the message, his name is James Person, is actually found. In this case, I'm connected to iCRM, and it gives the company and the phone number. And as I scroll down, it actually shows social media links. So LinkedIn and Instagram and all that is here. And then it shows all the related items. So I actually have an open opportunity for this person. And then I have some tickets and so on. So everything about this person is shown here, and what's going on with them and their company is actually just automatically shown in here. But in its simplest form, I might just want to save this email to iCRM, and I can do that. I'll just click Add, and that's it. One click. Again, you can have it run that in the background, so you don't even have to click. It could do that automatically, but it actually saved this email to iCRM as it states here. And then if I want to prove it, I can click Open, and now it's like opening the email in the sidebar first. And then if I say Open in full screen, it actually takes me to that message in iCRM, and you can see, in fact, that message that I just clicked there actually did save just now to iCRM. And I know you haven't really seen this, but iCRM is a browser-based solution. And when you open it in a full screen like this, it's a browser, and I should say, and an email-based solution. When you open it in a full screen, for example, you can go to the dashboard and you can see metrics about what's going on. And then you can go to the accounts and contacts and things, and you can search for specific items. It's got a universal search. So if I'm searching for a specific account, I just click there to find it. And then you can see all the related items like the contacts, the opportunities, and then in the activities is where you see all the emails and everything else in here. So I'm not going to go into depth on iCRM. I'll just say that it's a full-featured CRM. It's got all sorts of modules here, and each module is configurable. So, for example, if I go into the accounts here and I click on this little wrench icon, actually, let me go into an account itself. You can see it has like the account name, phone numbers, things like that. And then if I click on the little wrench icon, I can really quickly change what's on the screen. I can drag and drop fields, move them around, add fields, change fields, and so on, and then just apply, and bingo, you can customize the solution very, very easily. And by the way, as I mentioned before, we actually do that for you. So we'll, if you do sign up for iCRM on any paid subscription, we will help you configure it, set up all your fields on these forms, and then import your data as well. So let's go back to Gmail. We'll explore some more. So I'll go back here. I'll open up that message again, and you can see the message was already saved to iCRM. But in this case, by default, if you click that button, it saves against the contact or lead it found automatically, right? And what it does is it looks up the email address of the person who sent the message in iCRM and saves it there. But you can link it to anything in the CRM. And if I click this link button, you'll see that I can change it, and I can say, hey, I want to link it to an opportunity or a case, like a trouble ticket, or anything, including a custom module inside the CRM. And by the way, we support all this for Salesforce and all the other CRMs as well. And you can see here is a list, I can link it to an opportunity, for example, and I can show, this is the list of opportunities. I can search for one. I can look at open only the ones for this particular company. So by default here, it's the open opportunities for the person who sent the message's company. And then I can just pick one, and bingo, that's it. This message is now saved against the opportunity now, instead of the contact, right? And just exploring a little bit more, up at the top, you see this, I have the opportunity to open a contact. So if I open the contact right here in the sidebar, again, this is the person that sent the message, right? It shows me more details about that person and related items. If I go to details, every single field from the CRM is shown here. I can even edit this contact right here. So maybe I want to add a new phone number or change some details about the contact. It's all here. And then, like, one thing I find frustrating sometimes in Salesforce or whatever CRM, it's like there's all these required fields. So we actually have a toggle here where you can toggle to show only required fields. So especially when you're in your email or maybe on mobile, you really only want to fill out the things that are absolutely necessary and maybe come back to it later. But if I toggle that off, you'll see you have every field here, right? So you can literally open really any record in here and edit it, and save it. And then one other thing I'll mention. So I remember here we are back at the first screen. If I click Open Contact, I went to the details and edit, and I can edit it right from here. But I can also do open and full screen. So maybe sometimes your the sidebar just isn't quite enough, right? And you want to open this particular contact, in this case, in the full screen. And if you click that, it takes you to this person in iCRM, and you can edit it here or view more details here. So that's really handy. So what I'll do now is I will switch to Outlook real quick. Let me do that. Let me bring up Outlook for you guys. Here we go. So here's my Outlook inbox. And you can see I have iCRM here right now, but you can see that it pretty much works the same way. When I open a message, this is a different message from someone, and from James Person in this case, it goes out and it finds the information in iCRM in this case. And then I have the option to open the contact and open in full screen the same way. Um, and then it shows the social media links. Here's opportunities. And by the way, I can click on this opportunity, which is for James Person here, and literally edit it right here inside of Outlook in this case. So everything is basically doable right here from inside your email, which is where you spend most of your day, as I mentioned according to that study before. Anyway, so if you, I'm going back to the main screen here, scrolling down, I'll mention another thing. You can actually add items from here too. So, another use case I've seen is someone sends an email and they have a problem. So for example, you could add a ticket or a case right from here. So right now we're looking at iCRM. Let me show you what it looks like with Salesforce as the back end real quick. So if I click up here on the Salesforce connector, and again, this is a product we make, right? And we'd love for you to use iCRM, but if you're stuck on whatever CRM you're using now and you want it to work inside of the inbox, our connectors are a really good solution for that. And here is the Salesforce connector. You can see I just clicked up at the top here to bring it up. And then what I'm going to do really quickly is I'm going to pin this. So what that means is that every time I open any message, it will automatically show this sidebar, and in this case, in Outlook. In Gmail, if you open up the sidebar and then open up a different message, it just stays open. It remembers what you had open last and keeps it open. So in Outlook, you need to do this little pin here to pin a particular add-in. So now we're looking at Salesforce, and it's pretty much the same thing. If I want to log an email, I can just click add here, right? And that's it. The email's added to Salesforce, as you can see. And then if I want to just open it and see inside of Salesforce, I can, right? Here's the message. If I open it in full screen, hang on one sec, I'll show you that in a second. It just popped out to a different browser here, but yep. So you'll see that it's actually opening the message in salesforce.com, and it did in fact save the message, as you can see in salesforce.com. Going back to Outlook real quick. So if I go back, again, everything we saw from iCRM is there. And then I'll mention this too. In this case, I actually have Mark Thread enabled. And what that means is now I save this email to Salesforce, and now this is an important thread because it's about a purchase in this case. And I want to mark this thread. If I click mark thread, that just means that all future replies to this message will also be automatically saved to Salesforce, so you don't have to do anything. And I actually like that disposition. Like, you can make it so all messages just automatically sync. And I don't love that because I just think there gets to be a lot of junk in your CRM. In this case, there's less junk, and you're saving the important messages. And if it's an important thread, you can mark the thread as I just did, and save it just like that. So I'm going to go back to Gmail for a second, if you guys don't mind. And let's go back there. And it works the same way with sent messages, by the way. But the other major use case for email is you get a message from someone and they're not in your CRM. So I got a message from Bill Gates. I'm really important, and you can see that in this case I have iCRM open, and it says Bill Gates is not found in iCRM, right? And we help you add it. It shows some social media links, right? There's his LinkedIn profile and so on down here, but he's not in there. So it offers me the option to add. So I can either add Bill as a contact, and I can link him to a company, um, um, and um, and save it. And Victor, I see you asked a question. I'll get to it in just a second, I promise. Thanks. Any other questions, please put them in there. I'm happy to answer them. And, we should be done in way less than an hour, by the way. Anyway, so I'm going to add this as a lead in this case, but I could add it as a contact, select an existing company, or add a company on the fly too, or an account, whatever you want to call it. So if I click add to leads, you'll see that it actually tries to fill out this information. It took this from LinkedIn, the job title, and it'll have the company name and the email address, and all that is just here automatically. You don't really have to do much to get it. And you can fill out this information and save it in whatever CRM you're using. So, we've been working with email. I was going to switch to calendar, so it's a good time to answer your question, Victor. So Victor says, if you cancel your subscription down the road, what happens to the data? Well, the data stays. And unlike Einstein Activity Sync, which is the new Salesforce synchronization tool that's replacing Lightning Sync, right? That's where Salesforce is at. They save your messages unencrypted in Amazon.com. We save your messages right inside of Salesforce, fully encrypted. And if you cancel your subscription, all that you saved in Salesforce or in iCRM, obviously, if you're using Salesforce, all that you saved in Salesforce stays there. In the case of the Einstein Activity Sync from Salesforce, if you cancel that subscription, which is, by the way, $50 a month, if you're paying for it, then they literally remove all your data and you don't have it. And then even if you keep your subscription to the Einstein Activity Sync, by default, they delete your data after a year unless you pay them more, and then they'll keep it only for 2 years. It's very interesting. Anyway, what's going on? So actually, it kind of dovetails well. And then with iCRM, if you cancel your subscription, you could actually downgrade to a free version. We do have a free version, but it doesn't include the email integration. Anyway, your data will be there, and then you can easily also export your data. We have like a whole reporting system with Excel reports and so on. So there's another question, like what Salesforce has a Gmail connector. How is iCRM different from that connector? So the big thing that's different between our approach to connecting email and CRM, whether it be Salesforce or iCRM, keep in mind we make a connector for Salesforce, we make a connector for iCRM, we make connectors for all the popular CRMs. But the big thing that's different is we use native technology. So in the case of Gmail, they're using something known as a Chrome extension, and then they're using Einstein Activity Sync. And I have a slide on this I'll show later, so there'll be more. But basically, Chrome extensions are super unreliable. You got to install them on every single PC. It only works in Chrome, doesn't work in any other browser. It's not really secure. It can see everything you're doing, can even track your browsing history. It's like they're super unreliable. They often don't work because if you have two different Chrome extensions installed, it's installed locally and they conflict with each other. They really kind of only let you save email messages. We're letting you can see all this stuff on the side here. We're letting you create cases and tickets and opportunities and everything right from here. They just let you log the email. It's pretty much it. And then we're showing all the social media information. We're taking the information from social media. And then what I said before about Einstein Activity Sync, rsync is syncing the information right to Salesforce, encrypted, and it stays there forever, even if you cancel your subscription. And we don't play games with the cancel of the subscription. You can sign up with us monthly or annually, whatever makes sense for you. And if you're monthly, you can just cancel at any time and you don't have to keep on paying. We don't try to lock you in. So I'm going to try to do a mobile demo real quick. Just give me 1 second. Um, let's see. Just give me 1 second here and let me show you this. See if I can get this going. It's a little tricky. I'm going to use QuickTime here. Okay, actually not bad. So this is actually my real iPhone, right? And I'm showing it here in on my screen. And what I'll do is I'll open up an email message. This is in my Gmail inbox. So this is using the Gmail app. And this is a difference from Chrome extensions too. Like Chrome extensions don't work on mobile, right? Like they only work in the Chrome browser on your desktop. We're installing our Gmail add-on as a native add-on. It installs in the Google Cloud inside of Gmail, and therefore it works in any browser. It's super reliable, and it even works on mobile. And you can see down at the bottom here, you see all the way down here at the bottom, I'm scrolling a little. Let me move this. Yeah, so down here at the bottom are all the add-ons, and the iCRM add-on is right here. And if I get a message from someone, very similar to what you see here in Gmail in the browser, right? Down at the bottom, you can see everything about this person inside of Gmail. Sorry, of iCRM, and I can make this full screen if I want, right? So I just kind of made all this full screen. I can log this email really quickly by clicking this add button, right? And then something I really love on mobile is the email templates, which I haven't shown yet. So sometimes like you're out on the road and somebody like this says send me some information, and we have email templates, and this works with both Salesforce and iCRM in Gmail and in Outlook. But I can do reply using template, and then it says what message do I want to send, and obviously I can search for a message or whatever, and I'll choose this product details, and then it's going to merge, and I can either create a reply or a new email. So I'll just do a reply since they emailed me, and then you can see it actually inserts the email template as a reply inside of this message with all sorts of links and images and things. Super handy on mobile because, as you know, when you're out on the road and you can't type links and things and put all that in an email message. It's very difficult, but using these templates, it's super easy. I click send, and bingo, that's it. I sent that message now to James Person, in this case, using the connector. So really, that question about what's different, I should have said mobile first. The fact that ours works in the mobile client is a super big differentiator from the Chrome extensions, including the Salesforce Chrome extensions that are out there. So pretty much full fidelity on mobile. Everything works on mobile because we're using, again, native technology. In this case, we're using a Gmail add-on, and then in Outlook, they're called add-ins. Yeah, this is a good one. Someone's asking about what about an email that's already been sent? Sure. So you could just go to your sent and pick an email message, and it works exactly the same way. You can just send the email just to your CRM just like that. And then keep in mind there's the automatic sync option as well that would automatically save both sent and incoming emails. That's included. As well as the marked thread functionality. So if you save the message and then this was a future reply, you could save like obviously the replies automatically without doing anything. So let's just quickly go to calendar. Let me see, where's my calendar? mean, I'm not going to spend much time here, so I can create a calendar item, um, whatever, on my calendar. Oops, I could only spell, right? And then I can add guests, so I'll add James Person, right? And then I can send it, I can add my Google meeting, right? And now I have a meeting on my calendar. And if I open up the sidebar here, right, and I open up the meeting, I can then log the meeting as an event in CRM, right? Or again, I can have the calendar sync running, and if the calendar sync were running, it would recognize by the invitee's email address who the meeting is with, and it would just save this meeting to iCRM or whatever you're using. Could be Salesforce or whatever. So I'm not going to go into too much detail here because you've seen how it works in email. It works exactly the same in calendar, right? You can log the events. It shows the social media links. It shows all the related information. You can click on the related information. And something I didn't cover, like maybe you made a phone call right here and now while you were working with this customer. You can click this button to log a call or log any activity, or put a follow-up in to remind you to follow up with this person, and it'll automatically email you and so on. So there's a lot you can do here. I'm going to go back to the deck unless there's more questions about functionality, and we'll talk a little bit more about the differences as well. So I'm almost done here. So we're in the live demo. Let's move on. So I mentioned like our pricing is kind of no nonsense. That's what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to give you one price for things. We're not trying to confuse it and sign you up for like a lesser version and then expect you to pay double or triple or even many more times the original price at a later date. So the connectors, so if you have Salesforce and you don't want to switch, or you have Dynamics or whatever, the monthly price is $24.95 per user per month, and then the annual price is $19.95 per user per month, paid annually. And then iCRM, which is like a fantastic deal, the price for the unlimited version, which has everything, is $34.95 per user per month, paid monthly, $29.95 per user per month if you pay annually. And like with all these products, if you have lots of users, if you have more than 50 or 100 users, we'll discount this as well. And with respect to iCRM, that price, that's the only price. There aren't other prices. There's no like professional and enterprise version. There's one price. It includes everything, including the connector for Gmail and Outlook. And as you can see, like people who have Salesforce, like the price is not even much different, right? Like between just buying the connector and having the whole CRM with everything. And we're including everything. So it actually also has another little feature called Social Insights built into iCRM, which is another thing we charge more for. Like if you have Salesforce, you can buy it. But Social Insights lets you basically go to any LinkedIn profile and save that profile in iCRM as a lead with their real work email address. Even if they put their personal email address in LinkedIn, we get their real work email address. So we also include setup and data import. So we help you configure, we import your data. There's nothing else to buy. We give you everything we got at this one price of $34.95. We don't try to upsell you. So you saw this already. This is why, in addition to the inbox capabilities and the fact that we're using native add-ons and add-ins so that it works on mobile and doesn't have all the issues that that Chrome extensions have, like the ones from Salesforce, and also our sync, our background sync, is permanent and fully encrypted as well. So everything gets saved in your CRM and it stays there, unlike um, unlike the Salesforce solutions like Einstein Activity Sync, where it saves it outside of Salesforce, which is crazy. They're Salesforce; they should be saving it inside of Salesforce. And it's not encrypted, and they're using Chrome extensions and so on. So ours is the latest and greatest modern technology, works on mobile. We give you one price and we don't mess around. So if there's any additional questions, please ask. But the questions, actually, there's one about installing, so if you're installing iCRM, you can just go to our website, which is ienterprises.com, and then get the iCRM trial and install it, and to deploy it to all your users. There's an option to invite users in there, and if you're using the connectors, if you're the Gmail admin, you can actually deploy the connector to your entire domain for Gmail, or if you're Exchange, you could deploy it in Exchange. And actually, someone else, there's another question about, do you need to be does it only work with Exchange with Outlook? So the answer is no, and that's actually unique. The connectors from every other company, including Salesforce that I know, only work with Exchange. Ours will actually work with any Outlook client. Even if you had an Outlook client and it was connected to Hotmail or Yahoo Mail or whatever, it would just work. Same is true for Gmail. Almost all the other extensions, including the Google Chrome extensions, don't work with just regular old Gmail addresses. They have to work. They only work with Google Workspace addresses, which most of us have anyway. But if you do want to use it with your personal Gmail, you can do that. So that's another difference there as well. And then, by the way, speaking of the differences, I'm going to go one more time. I know we're beating this to death, but you asked a question, I'm going to answer it. uh, let's look at really quick. I'm going to show you one more thing. Just give me 1 second. Let's look at this. So this is. Oh, sorry, I got to share. I'm going to share my screen one more time. So this is actually our website, right? And as I said, you can come here. You come to our main website, and it just says, "Hey, what email do you use?" And then what CRM. So what makes us different from Salesforce is right here. And then this is like the summary, but then there's a giant screen here that has everything. And it shows, what makes it different. Works with any Gmail address, easy installation, deployed in the Google Cloud. Like Chrome extensions have to be deployed on everyone. It uses a modern Gmail add-on, not a Chrome extension. We offer monthly or annual licensing. This is the summary stuff, and the pricing is $19.95 per user per month, paid annually. The Einstein Activity Sync alone is $50 a month, and they charge you more if you want inbox, right? And then ours is more secure. It works in any browser. It syncs directly to Salesforce versus Einstein Activity Sync, which syncs to Amazon AWS. It saves emails as long as you want. Einstein Activity Sync saves emails for only 6 months. And then you can pay more and have them for 24 months, but eventually they get deleted. Ours just stay forever. It shows as a normal activity, actually, in Salesforce when you use our connector. Einstein Activity Sync saves it as something else, and then it doesn't show on your reports and dashboards as a result. So if you're getting credit for your activities, you won't get credit if you don't use if you use the Salesforce one. It's crazy. And then emails, when you cancel your subscription to Einstein Activity Sync, everything gets deleted. We don't do that. Everything just stays. Um, and the connector syncs. We sync recurring all calendar events. Theirs don't sync recurring calendar events. Attachments are supported, and they're not with the Salesforce solution. That's another one. And Einstein Activity Sync can take up to 24 hours to sync. Ours syncs every 10 minutes. I mean, it goes on and on. There's the social media integration, the pricing, works with any email address, and we do everything. We help you set it up and everything, versus having to hire an army of consultants. So I know I beat that to death. I'm sorry, but I feel like I really answered that question now. So with that, we'll wrap up. There's a picture of me when I was much younger. Hopefully, I haven't changed too much. Wearing these glasses, that's one difference. And if you do have any questions, just email me at sales at ienterprises.com. Remember to subscribe and like this video. Visit our website, which is in the comments as well. And my phone number is on the screen as well. If you do have questions, I'm here for you, as is our whole team globally. And we're happy to help with anything you might need. Have a fantastic day and a great month of June and the rest of 22. Thanks for joining us.